Hello, dear friends. It seems that everything has to burst at the seams for the rebirth of the new earth, just like the phoenix. But this is the ugliest part of the road to the golden age. Opinion piece. Crisis equal opportunity. A time of testing. An unstable situation. Economic collapse. Storm is coming. Rebirth of the phoenix. Deteriorating mental health. Nicaragua to plant 26 million trees. Big banks to foot the bill for bankruptcies. Mexico's super-peso hits record high. Russia offers citizenship to US citizens. Spanish government hides the destination of European funds. Let's start. The Chinese word for crisis is composed of two characters, meaning danger and opportunity or turning point. Crisis means transformation, instability, trouble or problem, but it also means a difficult situation or a profound and consequential change in a situation. In finance, the word crisis is applied to a reduction in the rate of output growth of an economy, or a downturn in an economic cycle that generates uncertainty and psychological stress. The existence of a crisis would be a natural consequence of the functioning of the economic, political and social system, and its proper management requires coordinated action by different actors. Crisis can be caused by a variety of factors, including lack of resources, economic mismanagement, corruption, armed conflict, natural disasters and social imbalance, among others. In addition, the interconnectedness of markets globally can also trigger crises that spread rapidly across borders. Definition. A crisis is an event or period that could lead to an unstable and dangerous situation affecting an individual, a group or society as a whole. Crises are profound changes in humankind or environmental spheres, especially when they occur abruptly, with little or no warning. A crisis is a testing time for an emergency. The word crisis is borrowed from Latin, which in turn is borrowed from the Greek crisis, meaning discrimination or decision. The noun is derived from the verb krino, meaning to distinguish, choose or decide. It is a decisive or vitally important stage in the process of anything, especially a period of uncertainty or difficulty. The Great Crash. The Great Economic Collapse is a term used to refer to a major global economic crisis that would have significant consequences for the world economy and society in general. Such a crisis could lead to a collapse of the global financial and trading system, affecting the economies of both developed and developing countries. Historical examples of major economic collapse include the Great Depression of 1929, the Asian financial crisis of 1997, and the global financial crisis of 2008. The causes of a major economic collapse can be diverse, but generally include a combination of factors such as excessive indebtedness, financial speculation, lack of adequate regulation, corruption and lack of transparency in financial markets. It could have consequences such as rising unemployment, falling house and other asset prices, reduced production and international trade, inflation, and loss of currency value. Reset news. A storm is coming to humankind, says retired engineer David Switch, who researched near-death experiences for 14 years. World Bank chief calls for agency on poor nations' debt at G7. Goldilocks and seeds of wisdom. Things are about to change. Fasten your gold belt. This shift in wealth power and wealth transfer is becoming an increasing possibility. All countries are in the process of completing their monetary reforms and normalizing banking protocols under a gold-backed system. A gold price change event will give us liquidity to move to a financial reset. A slow fall of the dollar. BRICS will cautiously discuss the creation of a common currency. The QFS has operated in parallel to the core banking system for more than a year and has countered many hacking attempts to steal funds. The result is that many bankers were caught in illegal transfers. The QFS was invented in preparation for the takeover of the central bank debt system to end financial slavery and control over the population. In the last year, several countries have had military coups in Africa, Sri Lanka, Kazakhstan, and Myanmar. White Hat base attacked by FBI canine robot, according to Real Raw News. Renowned journalist says Russia contacted star visitors. Russian General Nikolai Antoshkin says that the most advanced civilizations are watching the Earth to make sure we don't destroy the planet. He also noted that UFOs are observed near dangerous installations such as nuclear and chemical weapons. Randra's message: great improvements will take place if we fill the Earth with the light of the one infinite Creator, and request that any obstructions be removed. We can fast forward this film if we wish. Worldwide, or Globalism. Klaus Schwab says that, in quotes, in the new world it will be total transparency, built into your personality. If you have nothing to hide, you need not to worry. My comment. They are the ones who have to hide their totalitarian desire to control us. Do they want to turn the world into a prison without freedom and privacy, controlled by artificial intelligence? UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres told the Davos Forum that politicians must take unpopular decisions to shape public opinion. In other words, be a tyrant and work against the people until they fall in line. Polish farmers who say their animals are dying after eating Ukrainian grain. Stem cells to produce meat without livestock at Tufts University, USA. Benjamin Fulford believes that some group is trying to turn us into remote-controlled automatons. Many claim that the ultimate control goes beyond no millionaires. This brings us to the issue of possible alien interference in our affairs. Xi Jinping visits China's new city of the future and calls on companies to move in. Economy. Big banks will foot the bill for bank failures. Big banks will pay billions to replenish the bankruptcy fund. Gregory Manarino says inflation continues to rise with no end in sight. Big Swear expects market chaos to ensue until the game is over. The debt ceiling problem is just another reason to believe they want to destroy the world monetary system. We, the people, can survive, but the fiat system cannot. Doug Casey believes, in quotes, that the defaulting on the national debt would pave the way for the restitution of sound, redeemable, commodity-based money. People would have to focus more on real wealth than fake financial wealth. real engineering as opposed to financial and social engineering. Inflation is getting worse in the UK, and people are struggling to pay rent and mortgage payments. The Bank of England raises rates to the highest level since 2008. BBC editor prevented from investigating an alleged lie by Boris Johnson in the run-up to Brexit that British healthcare was being used to pay for the UK's healthcare system. For the European Union healthcare system. The Grim Reaper appears during the coronation of Charles III of England. USA. Florida sues Biden administration to stop migrant release. IMF urges US congressmen to address default risk. IMF says debt default would have very serious repercussions on the global economy. Trump says the US should be allowed to default. The mayor of New York says his residence is haunted. Washington's governor signs a bill allowing the government to separate minors from their parents if they refuse to accept gender surgery. Deteriorating mental health. The percentage of people with serious mental illness in prisons increased from 0.75% in 1880 to 21% in 2005. Artificial intelligence software to eavesdrop on prisoners' phone calls in Florida. AI chatbot to replace workers in fast food restaurants. G-Day Raqqa warns of accelerating societal collapse. Elon Musk to step down as Twitter CEO picks successor. Russia offers citizenship to US citizens if they commit to 18 months of military service. Europe. The Spanish government hides the destination of European funds. Governments are obliged to provide information on the use of public funds. 35% of Spaniards work under the orders of an algorithm. The European Union puts the first limit to artificial intelligence to regulate its use. In Germany, a new public transport pass has been launched for €49, valid on trains, buses and metro systems across the country. Americas. The Mexican super-peso reaches its higher level in almost 6 years. Mexico City micro-earthquakes. Why it is always shaking? Mexico temporarily suspends 33 temporary stays for migrants. Mexico will cooperate with the US to avoid chaos at the border after the end of Title 42. Texas sends another busload of illegal immigrants to Kamala Harris' residence while Title 42 expires. Most are from Venezuela. Title 42 required migrants seeking asylum to remain in Mexico while their cases were being considered. US representatives pass a bill to resume construction of the border wall with Mexico. Republican Senator John Neely Kennedy said that if it weren't for the US economy, Mexicans would be eating out of a can of cat food and living in a tent in the backyard. Uruguay water salinity increases due to water deficit. Nicaragua to plant 26 million trees. The Spanish government grants nationality to 14 Nicaraguan opponents. Bolivia analyzes using the yuan for its foreign trade instead of the dollar. Bukele highlights that in his almost 4 years of government, there have been 365 days with 0 homicides. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.